Hello, hello, hello. This is Adelaide Brown, your heart coach, and I just wanted to stop by this evening and just share a very quick word with you guys. I hope that you had a terrific Tuesday. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you? It's good to see you. Is the baby sleeping with his precious self? I just wanted to jump on tonight and just encourage you guys. I'm not going to be on long, but I just want to encourage you to break the cycle, right? Break the cycle. Whatever that cycle is in your life, it could be dysfunction, it could be, when I say dysfunction, it could be maybe a cycle in your life is everyone has a certain illness that it seems like it's hereditary, but it could be, prevented by diet and exercise, by changing the way you live. Break that cycle in your family. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Adelaide Brown, your heart coach. And as a heart coach, I work with individuals to confront matters of the heart so that they can live authentically on purpose. And tonight, as you prepare for bed or as you prepare to stroll through social media until your eyes get red and you have to fall asleep, maybe you are, whatever you have going on, I want to encourage you to include some of that time, to include your personal growth, your personal healing, your personal development in some of this time that you still have for this evening. So break the cycle, right? If you know, I heard this before. Maybe you've heard it as well. Insanity is to keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Insanity means that you keep doing the same thing and you're expecting a different result. So when I say break the cycle, if you don't want to end up like your parents, don't behave like them. Start to analyze your behavior and look at what you're doing. Are you getting in relationships, women, with men who are just like your dad? Men, are you getting in relationships with women who are just like your mom? Did you marry someone because of the security they could give you, or to get back at someone, or to prove something to you, to yourself or others? Or did you marry them because that was who God called you to marry? Right? When I say break the cycle, I say don't treat people how they treat you. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's what I mean by breaking the cycle. There's so much brokenness and hurt in the world. I feel like the coronavirus has come to pretty much shed a light on the struggles that are going on internally in our hearts that so many of us deal with secretly. We go to church, we go to work, we help other people, we support them, but when it comes to us and our healing, we often blow it off. We'll say things like, well, I prayed about it, or I gave that to God. No, it's a lot more to it than that. It takes work, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of vulnerability. So I just want to encourage you, wherever you are, break the cycle. Maybe nobody talks about anything in your family. You need to break that cycle. Maybe no one ever went to therapy. You need to break that cycle. Maybe no one went to college. You need to break that cycle. Maybe everyone is trapped in vanity. It's all about keeping up with the Joneses and what you can produce and what you can have. You need to break that cycle. You are a lot more than your physical things. I've been around people on their deathbed. I've never heard them bragging about material things. I've never heard them saying, I wish I had worked more. And it's not even just about those on their deathbeds. I'm saying let's not wait until our lives are threatened, like now what we're going through, before we decide that we want to heal and we want to be whole and we want to grow. Right? Let's put our focus on changing the narrative and shifting our lives from what we've seen and what we've grown accustomed to what God is calling us to. For some of us, we have to break the cycle culturally and in our communities. We have to start being around people that don't look like us, helping people that are difficult to deal with, because it does something for us. It heals us. You might have a parent who was never there for you, and now you're in a season where you have to be there for them. Break the cycle. Don't do them how they did you. Treat them how you want to be treated. And if you don't get anything else from this, know that you're worthy. Know that when you do this, it looks like forgiveness. It looks like reconciliation. It looks like, being the bigger person. That doesn't always feel good, right? That doesn't always smell good, doesn't taste good, doesn't look good. But what I can promise you is that you will come out on top. You will be able to sleep at night. You will be able to be proud of the person that you're becoming. This growth is a process. That's why I'm saying we have to break the cycle. Good evening, comma. Good evening, Jaminijo. I don't want to mess up your name, Jay Minijo. But thank you guys so much for coming on this evening. We're talking about breaking the cycles. Have you ever had any cycles that you realized you were in that you had to break? These are things that I want you to think about. These are things I want you to consider, because one of the things that I do. Oh, hey Janine, how you doing? Oh, okay, I get it now. Janine. Okay, gotcha. How you doing? Blessings to you and the family. We're talking about breaking cycles. And I feel like God allowed us to slow down in this season of our lives so that we can start looking at ourselves and telling the truth. We cannot keep allowing people and the culture to feed into us when it's feeding us toxic things, right? We can no longer allow for our lives to be determined or to be narrated, our story to be narrated by people who really don't, aren't about what we're about. They're not, they're where we were, but not where we're going, right? And we have to be willing to have the courage to break those cycles, to do something different, to pull away from the crowd, to say, you know what? I used to do that, but I don't do that anymore. You know what? I used to hang there, but I don't hang there anymore. You know what? I used to do those things. I don't do that anymore. And it takes courage to do that, but it's one of those things that is absolutely necessary. And that's why I push my book so much. Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. And any event that I do, like I have an upcoming book writing workshop that I'm going to do. Why? Because it's about us breaking the cycle. It's about us stopping this pathology of suffering and silence. It's us learning how to use our voice, how to use our praise, how to use our worship, how to use our anger and frustration, our disappointment and our pain to be a blessing. Not just to others, but a blessing to ourselves. You didn't go through that mess just to go through it. It had a purpose. Like, it was supposed to break you. You made it out. It had a purpose, and now you have to live in that and be fulfilled in that. And it takes courage, like I said, to do that. So I just want to tell you to break the cycle before you go to sleep tonight. Break the cycle. Maybe do something different than what you normally do before you go to bed. Maybe write a journal, write a note. Get some of that heaviness off your heart. Get some of those heavy things out of your mind, out of your soul, so that you can rest better, so that you can show up better tomorrow. So you don't have to feel like you have to hide or pretend to be someone that everybody wants, because you, just like you are, is more than enough. That's what I mean by breaking the cycle. And I've seen this in my own life. Like, my mom called me tonight. If you guys got a chance to watch the live from yesterday, it was hilarious. It was me and mommy on there. We were in the car, and you pretty much got a view of us in our element, right? If you didn't get to see it, go to the YouTube page. I'll type it in here. Go to the YouTube page and check it out. Yes, we are conquerors and through Christ Jesus, exactly. And we are more than conquerors. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in conquering that we don't get to enjoy what we already have and what we already possess. So that's why it's so important for us to confront and to conquer. And I feel like to break a cycle, we have to be conquerors. But we also have to understand, to break a cycle, we have to tap into a sensitive space that maybe we don't want to go to. We have to go to vulnerable, weak places that maybe we don't want to go to. What about those shameful places where we've done things that we're not proud of, and people have done things to us and because of us or around us that made us uncomfortable, that made us want to run from who we really are, that sent us into an unhealthy cycle that we find ourselves stuck in. It's time to change that. And so my mom called me tonight to tell me thank you for our time on yesterday. And then she was just telling me how there were things that I told her 5 and 6 years ago. Hey cousin, I'm so happy you got on. Um, that's my cousin Desmond, guys. He's a world renowned artist and he is amazing. Just to put that out there. All of y'all are amazing now, but I just want to shout him out. But she was just telling me how things that I said to her 5, 6, 7 years ago as I started breaking these cycles in my life. She thought I was crazy. She didn't want to hear what I had to say. She used to get upset with me because, she felt like maybe I was trying to judge her or tell her what to do. And these are all things she's okay with me sharing. But she called me tonight to tell me that so many things that I've told her in the past 5 or 6 years have come to pass, and something happened today that it made her realize that I was telling her that, before it happened. And it's not me, it's God in me. And this is what happened when we break the cycle. We make room for our entire families to heal. All it takes is one. All it takes is one person to say, I'm not going to participate in this stuff with you guys. I know we seem like we're having fun and this is just what we do, but this is unhealthy. This is dysfunctional. I don't want my children to do this. I don't want to take this into my future because I know this is a weight that's too heavy for me to carry. I just encourage you to break the cycle of pretending. I encourage you to break the cycle of wearing masks all the time. That's why I didn't put on any makeup when I got on tonight, because I wanted to talk to you about being real. And I think it's kind of hard to talk about being real if I'm sitting here all covered up and just plastered full of a look where I'm trying to present something that I'm not. I have nothing against makeup. I think it's beautiful. I think we all should feel pretty and do all of that good stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like sometimes when we're going to get real, we have to get real. When I've done a few retreats, the last retreat I did, we told the ladies, don't bring any heels, don't bring any dress up clothes, because you don't have a need for that. We're just healing this weekend. And it was a lot of breakthrough taking place and a lot of deliverance taking place. So there will be more of those to come, especially when we get out and we get moving again. But in the meantime, I feel like we're in the house now because God wants cycles to be broken. If you're at home waiting for everything to just pick back up so things can go back to normal, then you are part of the reason why we're going to be sitting in the house. Why am I saying that? Yes, I'm putting it on you because I think that sometimes we detach ourselves from the rest of the world and we don't realize how powerful we are. So we don't take accountability for our actions. We're not responsible about our decision making. And because of that, we hurt ourselves and we hurt many people around us, even if we think nobody knows about what's going on. So we have to break these cycles, and God shut things down so we don't have to say, well, Lord, I can't work on that because I'm too busy. Oh, Lord, I can't work on that because I'm at the church. You're not there. You're home. Even if you're still working, you don't have those extracurricular activities that you would normally have. And even if you have them, they're not to the full. You don't have the same freedoms that you would have had prior to this pandemic coming. So I encourage you to break the cycle, because that one move you make will be a ripple effect that will impact not just you and your family, but your community and the world. Right? I've met people and been able to encourage them and uplift them that I would have never met had I not tapped into, hey, this is my gift. God called me to help people heal. It's like I feel like I'm almost like a spiritual sanitation worker. Like I'm coming around helping people get the trash out. Get all this trash out your heart. Get all of this trash out your soul. Get all of this trash out of your mind. Thank God for sanitation workers. Thank God for people who do the dirty work that other people don't want to do, because they make our lives more livable. Right? And so I encourage you, if you have to be that person in your life, if you have to be that person in your family, it's okay. You might look like the outcast. They might not want to hear what you have to say, but you have to grow and you have to heal. And that does mean that a lot of times you're going to have to grow past what your spouse might want to do or what your children might want to do. Your parents might not want to have those conversations that you need to have with them, but these things need to be had so that your children don't keep doing the things that you're doing and the things your parents are doing and the things their parents were doing. And a lot of people will hear that and you just think physical things. No, how about jealousy? How about envy? How about sickness? How about disease? How about breaking the cycle of depression, anxiety? Like these are these are cycles that can and should be broken. But if everybody, I remember one time my uncle said this to me, and I'm sure I know a great activist said this. I can't think of exactly who said it right now, but I was asking him a couple years back, and this was another catalyst into me coming out as a heart coach, right? He said to me, I said, I don't know if I should get involved in all this political stuff. I have all these young children. I have a marriage I'm trying to save. I did not know who I was. I was not in tune with my identity at that time. I was still wrestling with, did I want to go natural or not? I mean, it was just a lot of things going on. And I remember my uncle just looked at me and I told him, honestly, I'm kind of scared. And I'm telling you this because breaking the cycle is scary. I don't care how hard you are. I don't care what type of cred you might have, what type of street cred. I don't care what your reputation is. When it's time for you to heal, when it's time for you to deal with the things that made you so hard, trust me, you're going to feel some fear. So I was talking to my uncle, God bless the dead, and he said to me, well, I said, Uncle, I don't know because I'm kind of scared. And see, my uncle was the type that would hurt your feelings. He would say things to you. He did not have a filter at all. That's why I loved him, because I know whatever he said, he was going to tell me the truth. So even telling him I was afraid to speak out against racial injustice and socioeconomic injustice, things that I've dealt with and my family has dealt with my whole life. Like, why would I want to be silent when this is causing such a problem with me and everybody around me? So my uncle just looked at me. He stopped what he was doing because he didn't make eye contact the whole time we were talking. But he stopped and looked at me and said, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? So that's my question to you. So it's time for you to break the cycle. It's time for you to make some moves. It's time for you to start dealing with the hurt and pain that's in your life. I gotta figure this thing out. It's time for you to focus in those areas. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? That's my question. Are you going to break the cycle? I mean, are you waiting for Jesus to come riding in on a horse? It's not going to happen. Not like that. You're going to be the one to have to be vulnerable. You're going to have to admit where you're hurting. You're going to have to talk to people and ask questions. Well, why do we do this? Why is this so acceptable in our families? Like, if you look at what you're currently going through in your life, especially the good things, absolutely. Let's focus on those things. But let's be honest, the bad things a lot of times will take precedent. If you look at most of the dysfunctions you're going through right now, I don't know, but you do. I bet you can look at your mom or you can look at your dad and you can see where they had that same struggle at that same point in their lives or somewhere around the age that you're at right now. And if it doesn't look exactly the same, it was a struggle they were going through and it might have looked a little different, but the struggle was the same. Now, if you don't want your children or your legacy to be tainted with that dysfunction over and over and over again, I'm going to ask you for the last time. If not who? If not you, then who? If not now, then when? That's all I want you to think about. Break those cycles. Let's write the vision and make it plain, right? I'm gonna put the link in here so you can go register for the Heart Scripts book writing workshop, because writing is therapeutic. Habakkuk in chapter 2, he did not say type the vision, make it plain. He did not say talk or record the vision and make it plain. He said, he didn't say, he said write the vision and make it plain. So a lot of times we get too technical. We a little too technology savvy for our own good. And we're going to have to bring it back a notch. And we're going to have to get still enough to write. No, you don't want to. No, it's not going to feel good. Yes, journaling is going to be hard for you. Write it down. Get that stuff out of your heart. Let me tell you something. You worried about the coronavirus. If you don't heal, trust me, you're going to experience death in your life. Way after this pandemic is over, you still feel this terror and this what if somebody figured out who you really were? What if somebody figured out that you're not the person you're presenting yourself to be? Let's break the cycle. Let's break the cycle. You know why? Because you're more than enough. You are more than enough. And Jesus died to save you. So why don't you live? Don't just exist. It's time to live. So this is Adelaide Brown, your heart coach. I am signing out. Remember, if you heal your heart, you'll transform your life. Make sure y'all register for the book writing workshop or sign up for a heart coaching session. The link is in the comments. Love y'all. Have a good night. And share with anybody you think could benefit from it.